Welcome back to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. Once again, we are in the Ignite podcast studio with Barry Moore and Kristen O'Rourke. NCAA, you worked field hockey, right?
Correct.
Awesome. So you're kind of making a transition right now. What's that transition been like for you, and what direction do you want to go in?
The transition, it's a really interesting year to be transitioning as well, because I want to make sure that I understand a climate that I'm moving into after I've been in this incubator of Division I coaching for the past decade and a half. And it's been, as we know, the world has just been very flexible. So it's required me to grow in ways that I very much wanted to grow. Why I wanted to change is coaching has been a place where I have grown alongside the student athletes, and every phase has brought me to a new chapter. And now it's time for a different playing field. All of the intangibles that I've learned, I want to be able to impact the world and others, and just move beyond the scope of great goalkeeping or great field hockey team. I think that we can do more with the lessons that I've learned.
I think what people don't realize is, like, when you're playing, because I played soccer growing up, so your coach was always your biggest cheerleader on the sideline. They were always that person that was telling you what you were doing wrong. Keep going, you can do it, you've got this. And it was just so nice knowing that that person was there and they were teaching you how to do something that you already loved doing, but didn't know you had the capacity to push yourself further. So being able to do that, taking that and then applying it into the business field, what's your game plan for that?
What you described, because I think I coach a little differently than, everybody's coaching styles are different. And the way that I viewed it, I coached goalkeepers and high performing goalkeepers, and the standard didn't matter where you start, the standard was extraordinarily high to be the top in the nation. And they were very driven, very individuals. And so the way I viewed it was, it's not my journey, it's their journey. And they were very adamant about that. So I viewed it as like a Sherpa of like, I have traveled this path before. This is a pitfall. I recommend you don't do that. But as far as the actual work being done, the sweat, the tears, the internal struggles, they had to go through that themselves. And that's where you get the high performance. So pivoting that into the work world was a little bit less focused on that individual Sherpa role and more so on how I manage the dynamics and the environment around my athlete as they were moving through that process. How to instill that self-efficacy and self-trust and the trust in the team. The last 2 to 4 years of my coaching career really helped me expand my understanding of where that influence as a coach lies, and how I can impact the environment that these flowers are growing in. So that's what I would like to take into the business world. Is I think there's so many teams that are not functioning at the capacity that they need to be functioning at, and performance is super important to me, as I know most businesses. So I have a way of being able to take a situation that you should not be winning and chipping away at all the possible factors that can turn the tables.
And that kind of that kind of transitions me into another question, in that if accredited businesses were to hire you, right? What is the first thing you're looking for when you go in there and you start analyzing the team?
I love that question. A willingness to learn, to expand. I wouldn't even say be led, because I think, I love some independence there. But one thing that I really learned when I stepped away from coaching, and I was recently in Austin, is people want to be you need to want to be around people who want to be moving in the same direction as you. And when I was in New York, it was very easy to motivate people or find out what made them tick. And so that way I knew, okay, I'm helping you help yourself. But if your goals are not in alignment, or you're not really willing to move on from the status quo, I'm here for growth and I'm here to help you get better. So if you say you want to get better, I need to see that you're willing to do that. Right? And same thing with the high performing goalkeepers. There's actually a kid who's within the national team system right now. And I met her as a freshman, she was like, I want to be on the national team. I want to get scholarship to college. And I'm like, that's great. Congrats. We're going to do a sink or swim test right now to see, do you actually want this? And I just was like a ribbon shot. It was bad. She swam, she showed it. She fought it for a bit, but she showed it. And that's all I need to see is, do you want it? Okay, now we're going to take this journey.
So accredited businesses that are listening or watching. What we see is companies going in business and then fail. We see businesses that have second, third generation, they don't make it, some do. There's never a really good business plan. When you're an accredited business, the processes in place would be just like coaching, would be start with trust, start with a handshake, start with a smile, realize everybody's a customer. Can you believe, and this is one of the things I share with ABs, accredited businesses, your employees are gatekeepers that they don't, you got people calling you, soliciting you, selling you, like your team is doing to the marketplace, and you will not have the respect for that company calling you and talk to them. You put your position, you put that in your employee's position, you're paying $10 an hour, and you're saying, screaming at them, don't let me get this call. And everybody that calls in is a customer in the future. If they're calling a plumber, then treat them with respect and don't buy the services from the direct mail, but say, where do you live? And maybe I can help you someday on a bathroom remodel. But you spend, as a business owner, all this money. So what my point is, you business owners that I keep trying to contact, being very direct, time is money, money's time. You can't afford, your bank account is not big enough for the failures you're going to take on. You hire someone like we're talking to right now, Kristen, and that's a coaching mentality. It's going to shake your company up. The cancer that's in your company, you're going to shake it up. You're going to cut it out. You're going to stop doing things the same old way, and you're going to start dissecting and making every goal and blocking goals, right? And that's what you do. So to hire you as a consultant, great. I don't want to prevent you from getting a job. Hire her as a consultant, try her out, but put her in a position of authority, grow your culture and change it, and be the best in your industry is what you can do with this candidate. So do you think you're the right person for any specific industries, or are you interested from a funeral home to a plumber to an electrician to a law office? Could you work in any field?
That's a great question. I had to be versatile, so can I work in any field? Yes. One thing I've also learned recently is just because I can be flexible doesn't mean that's my default setting. That we can, if you want to have more impact, then go to the place of more impact. I would say that companies that are more people facing, that really rely on getting it right with their customers, that need trust, that need their company culture to be very palpable and like something that like a team that people want to be a part of, not just as employees, but
Right.
as consumers. That's what everybody wants, especially post-COVID, is people want to belong. They want a team. They want to feel involved. And you need to be something that people want to migrate to.
These business owners, they have to attract, satisfy, and retain the very best clients. Then it goes to the next step because those employees will then attract, satisfy, and retain the greatest customers, which makes you profitable. Most business owners in the small industries, they're in the job. They don't manage from outside. They're in it. So if I'm a plumber, I'm turning wrenches versus watching the whole company. I can still make a good living, but I'll always hit it. The ceiling is really, I'll never break through it. If I hire from looking from the top outside in and managing the company that I know very well and the culture I need and the technical things I need, you'd be the right person. So I think any industry should call you, interview. It might not be a fit. You might not want to work with plumbers. You might want to work in hospitality. I don't know. You went to James Madison, great hospitality school. I have a feeling you took a few courses or osmosis, you learned how to treat people.
It's interesting though too. I mean, you kind of learn how to treat people through life. And I think unfortunately now social media and all that, like a lot of people in business, they go by what you should do. And it's like, oh, well, the book said that this is how I treat somebody. And I'm like, also, how about just like experiential? Like this is how I want to be treated. This is what makes this flower grow. That is more so. I mean, James Madison is incredible, and it has just like blown up in the best of ways since I was last there. And I do want to go back. I actually was just a mentor for one of their recent field hockey grads, but I would have to say that I want to work with people that get the real life aspect of relationships. And you see in businesses why a lot of these businesses fail, and you see it again with social media, is people are so concerned with the optics or the idea of and not the reality of. And so for me, I want to make the relationships very real and the social skills very real. And that's where the value comes, not just monetarily, but people actually want to show up and do the job because it feels good, because it's their team. That's something I want to be part of.
Before every wraps it up, we're gonna get and post it out. I hope businesses take the time to call you, but where do they call you?
Put my number out there.
Yeah.
It is 757-871-4064.
Good. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. Barry, thank you as well. Everyone, if you're watching on YouTube, BBB Central VA, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we post. And comment down below, helps the algorithm out. And if you're watching on Spotify, please give us a follow and share it out. And I will leave Kristen's information in the description box below, so make sure to check that out as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.